Well, the question is whether what Aamir Khan said made any sense, whether this was a wake-up call coming as it does from someone like him, or whether, in fact, his comments reflect a kind of paranoia that at least the BJP and those who are criticizing those who returned awards have been saying. Raveena Tandon joins us tonight from Mumbai. She's been tweeting on this issue quite a bit, not just award Wapsi, but particularly on Aamir's comments as well. Khushbu Sundar, spokesperson of the Congress, actor herself, joins us tonight. Siddharth Nath Singh, spokesperson of the BJP, and writer Sadia Delvi here in the studio with us. Raveena, let me ask you first. You had a series of tweets that you put out today, and you said, let me get straight to it, let's cut the BS. Why can't these people openly say that they weren't happy since the day Modi became Prime Minister? Do you in essence believe that Aamir Khan's statement has to do with politics, that it was a political statement that he was making?
See, as far as Aamir is concerned, he's always been a very intelligent actor, but he has also, I think, to a certain extent, been a little politically motivated always. I remember when I think the Prime Minister was going to UK, he was one of the petitioners to urge the government not to issue a visa, I think, to Mr. Modi, to our PM. And you know, so I think somewhere I feel everyone to a certain degree has some you know, issue with something or the other, and I believe that everything is now becoming politically, it's being hijacked by politics all over. Any statement that you make, anything that you say is either your allegedly, you know, is you're alleged to be, you know, connected to someone, or you are, you know, the various words I see on social media. Either you're called a bhakt, or you're called a liptard, or you're called an aptard, or you're called a sangi, or you're called a Congressi. I mean, what's going on? Yeah, people need to have the freedom to voice their opinion, vice versa. And I think, like I started with, Aamir is an intelligent guy, but somewhere I feel that, you know, if he has a problem, maybe it should be towards the ruling government, but not take India on the whole and then create paranoia and say, listen, I want to, you know, leave my country.
No,
which
you said something very important.
Was a bit much.
No,
you can't just leave your country.
Sure. You said something very important. One of the things you said was that everyone is getting labelled, particularly on social media, as this tard or that tard, which we know.
Absolutely.
And that everyone has
you
the
can't
right.
even say a good thing about your own country today. The minute you say, oh, I'm proud of my country, this has happened today, it's a good thing, and they say, oh, you're only saying it because you know, you think this government is great, or you don't like the other government. I mean, when did I ever talk about a political
party? The other side
party?
is also true, that if you criticize the government, you get labelled as anti-national and unpatriotic. And you said very importantly that everyone has a right to their opinion. So aren't you a little worried?
Something. Nidhi,
no, but look at the reactions to Aamir Khan.
I want to add one more thing.
Look at some of the reactions, some of the abuse. Not some. There's a whole lot of abuse he's got on Twitter today.
Oh,
there are words
I cannot
even repeat.
Twitter, so
I can't even repeat those words on television. And people are saying he should leave the country.
I mean, I can't repeat the words that I got abused with. This
I agree with you.
Not even protesting. I mean, he's
voicing
a concern.
No, so
and
he's also been the brand ambassador for Incredible India. Do we have to attribute a political motive to him? Is the question, Raveena.
That is because he has been signing these petitions and everything, so it comes across that maybe he doesn't, you know, want this. You know, it's if you read the document, I don't have papers or statistics with me, but it is all over the net. If you just see, so it does little come across as that. Is this why you said this? I mean, okay, you don't like the ruling party, but then don't bring it onto our whole country. I mean, see ground reality, yeah. I mean, tell me 1 year in the history of India where there has not been 1 or 2 disgustingly unfortunate stray communal incidents. Give me 1 year in the history of India when this has not been. What happened when the riots happened? What happened when the bomb blasts happened? What happened when 26/11 happened? Okay, fine, 26/11 were out-of-state actors. They were not the, you know, thing that was internally dealing with our own country. But still, there was death and there was mayhem. But we still lived on. We still lived in this country wanting to make it into a better country, but not running away from it. We need to get together and sort out the problems. We need to sort out the problems, but not
Okay.
give out a message that, oh, should we like shift out of the country?
Okay, so you're
We need to
particularly
sort out our issues.
angry with the comment on the possibility of him leaving the country. He actually said Kiran had considered it. But Khushbu, let me ask you this question then. That at some level, you know, there are many people I've talked to today who say they don't agree with what Amir Khan said, that it's a little over the top. Talking about leaving the country is thoda zyada ho gaya. And at the same time, they don't agree with the reactions that have come to his statement, either in the kind of abuse that he's getting all day. So,
No,
as a
absolutely
responsible
not. Absolutely.
star
That
and
is
as an
disgusting.
actor, yeah,
Because it's a free country.
Okay.
Yeah,
He
so
has
Khushbu-
every right to say what his opinion
yeah,
is.
exactly.
I-
So, Khushbu, you know,
Yeah,
was
I-
it as a responsible artist, as a star, as a superstar, someone who knows that whatever he says will be weighed and will make headlines, you know, should he have weighed his words more carefully? What do you think?
See, Amir, what he has spoken is what husband and wife has shared in a very private moment of fear. And that he has voiced it openly. I'm sure this would have happened some time back. And Amir thought in this democratic country, he can voice his open. He didn't leave the country. He didn't say, I'm leaving the country. He said this was coming from Kiran and it was disastrous. Let's be very careful as to what he spoke. It was a very disastrous statement which came from Kiran. So he's not even thinking of the lines of leaving the country. You cannot question the patriotism of a person like Amir Khan or Shah Rukh Khan prior to this. Amir Khan has been the brand ambassador for this country,
questioning the
Incredible
patriotism
India,
push.
where he says Atithi Devo Bhava. He's been inviting people from world over, saying, "Come visit my country. It's a beautiful place to live in." And it's not about 2009 when UPA government was there. He became the ambassador even in May 2015 when BJP government came to power. So it's not that he's saying that I am not going to be part of this. He has been there. He has applauded Prime Minister Modi when the Swachh Bharat campaign was there. He has been doing Satyamev Jayate. We have applauded him for bringing up the topics which we probably wouldn't even speak about it, confine them in the within four walls or push them under the carpet. But he has spoken on those issues and we have applauded him. So why question his patriotism today when he voices his opinion saying that my wife as a mother, she had this fear. He didn't say I am leaving the country. He didn't say that the country is intolerant. He didn't blame the BJP. He didn't say anything about the Prime Minister. So why people are reacting and calling him as anti-national?
I agree with
Sadia and then Siddharth. Sadia.
No, I agree with Khushbu. I think, you know, Amir is a man of integrity. He's committed to social causes. I think we are all very proud of him. And he's done some amazing contribution to India, and India has also given him a lot. So but you know, it's really, if he just voices, I also think it's been very brave of him and very open and courageous of him to have said something like this, knowing that he'll get into a lot of trouble. But, you know, it's just a fear that he voiced, and it definitely doesn't deserve this kind of response. I mean, the problem is like Ramina said, that there have been things happening earlier. So one is not denying that there have not been communal incidents before. So one is not giving a clean chit to say Congress or to Samajwadi or to anybody. But what has happened recently is there have been back-to-back incidents, and essentially the problem has been the response. There has been too little response and too late. And we need at times like this, instead of telling Amir, you know, if you look, it's horrible. Go on to Twitter and you see, you know, send Amir to Syria. Ashok Pandit said, what do you think about Pakistan? Send him to ISIS. What is Islam? I mean, what is all this happening? Here is somebody who just said something. You might not agree with it. You can reassure his wife that India is yours and, you know, India is for everybody, rather than chest thumping, we are tolerant, we are tolerant, we are tolerant. How dare you say this? Leave the country, go to Pakistan. I mean, it's the responses which are very disturbing.
Let me take that to Siddharth Nath Singh.
And are indicative of the intolerance. It's the responses, it's the problem in the responses.
Siddharth Nath Singh, two parts to that question then. One is, of course, Amir's statement itself, and the second is the response to it. Not just on social media, but even politically today. Does that, I mean, are we in a culture today, Siddharth, where we can't even agree to disagree, where people with different ideological opinions cannot civilly disagree?
Unfortunately.
So, Ravina, just a sec. I'll just get Siddharth from the BJP on in this. Just give me a second. Siddharth, yes, Siddharth.
Nidhi,
Yeah.
if Amir, there are no disputes on the talent, the patriotism, and the contribution to Indian cinema and India as a whole by Amir Khan or anybody else. So I don't think we are going to dispute. So, but the issue is that if Amir Khan has raised something of fear, then it needs to be founded, it needs to be backed up. And if somebody is criticizing on it, so that cannot be considered that the other person doesn't have a right to criticize on a social media. As far as the party is concerned, we have been very restrained, and we have said in many words that Amir Khan should read the newspaper where there are reports that in last 2 years there have been lesser communal violence in India than in the past years. So all those, we have been very restrained in our, and neither BJP or from the government anybody has said
Nidhi.
go to Pakistan or be here. Now coming on a logic, I would like to take two logic. On
Sir,
11th,
I have a question
please
on
allow
this.
me to make my point.
Ravina, just
Please
give,
allow
give,
me to
give
make
him a
my
minute.
point.
Give him a minute.
Sure.
Yeah. Siddharth, go ahead.
In November 11th, 2015, on Walk the Talk with Shekhar Gupta, Amir Khan said India is progressing in a positive manner, and the change that I am seeing, therefore a film like PK and Satyamay Jayate have been successful, and he praised about it. That is 11th November in Walk the Talk. Now we are here on the 21st, 22nd. In 10 days time, he all of a sudden makes a U-turn and says, I don't know why he said it, but there he takes now what he said on 11th November and what he said yesterday. He says in last 8 to 10 months there is something which is happening in India, and he refers to the intolerance. So obviously he is referring to a political climate or a manufactured environment which has been created. Now
But you're calling it a manufactured
This is
environment.
the problem.
How do you know he doesn't genuinely feel that way?
How can they be manufactured?
Please
How
allow
can
me
they be
to make my point.
manufactured?
Yeah,
Please
yes,
allow
Siddharth.
me to make my
Okay,
point.
okay.
I did not disturb. And Nidhi, if you do not want me to be on show, I have other shows to do also. That's your choice.
Go ahead, Siddharth, and
So
finish
do
your
not
point.
interrupt me, please. Okay? Because honestly, BJP cannot be put in a dock by the people who think there is an environment which has been vitiated. Now coming on a logical thing, Amir Khan Saab said that in 1984, people in BJP refer to 1984. So what he is referring is very right, that two wrongs don't make one right. Now 1984, if you are comparing, please tell us in last 2 years what 1984 or any of those rights have happened. You must justify before you make as a responsible citizen, as a matured citizen, an accusation on the government which doesn't have a backing. So therefore our objection comes to this kind of a statement.
No, but Siddharth, before I come to Ravina, is it just to do with riots? Is the Dadri lynching, for example, something that wasn't, that's something that should have
Who is
stirred the
responsible for
leadership's
Dadri
conscience
lynching?
more?
Please tell me who is responsible for Dadri lynching.
We just keep going
Is it,
round
is it
and
the
round in
central
circles.
government or the state government? Nidhi, you are a senior anchor.
Yeah.
A state government is responsible when 4 hours there is a rumor mongering happening and the police doesn't take a preventive action.
And,
Is it the
but
Home
your
Minister
leaders,
of India
but
to take an
BJP
action
leaders
in
and
that?
MPs and MLAs didn't help at that time. And my question
Incident
is,
happened.
was the response
May-
inadequate? Is that all?
Please, the response has been very, very adequate by the Home Minister who asked about it. The incident happened. Please criticize the incident. Do not criticize after that. You all want to forget the incident which happened, and the government, state government doesn't take any action. They go scot-free. But some MP of ours goes
Okay.
there in his constituency. He's been put to dock. Because of him, the entire government is put to dock by the media. Is it a fair comment?
1 second. So, Ravina, my question then is that when you talk about the country being shamed, how is the country being shamed? Now, should the shame not come from incidents like these, like Dadri, that people are being questioned about what they're eating, that a man was lynched to death, was killed because somebody thought he allegedly ate beef? Should that not be shaming us rather than what
all
are
this
the
has been
responses of people
condemned.
or the concerns of people? Ravina.
Listen, this was my question to Siddharth ji, who is there, that we agree to a certain degree that the state government should have taken action and taken absolute, strong action against such elements. But unfortunately, what happened in the aftermath? people look up to the ruling party. And at that time, when the ruling party should have come across as strongly condemning these people and controlling their elements who were making irresponsible statements, unfortunately, with the ruling party that did not come across. And that to a certain degree, people feel let down with. And why did that not happen? Why is that still not happening to a certain degree? Why is it that the voices of dissent have become much stronger, whereas they are not expecting or they are not getting the kind of response that they want from their ruling party to take against these elements?
So so that's a very important point you're making, Ravina. Are you saying you would have, for instance, liked to have seen the Prime Minister make a strong statement on all of this and put this debate to rest?
I think, well,
Ravina.
No, I am not saying.
Okay.
No. Understand my point. Every party has a representative who deals with issues, and the party makes a statement. And these statements should have happened, whether they had their internal meetings or they discussed. Right now, it feels that there is no response, that there are people on ground level fighting for what is happening, for and against. And it is actually dividing, the nation on a topic like this, tolerance and intolerance. Whereas at this point, when there are fringe elements in a ruling party or the opposition, I'm not only saying the BJP. Right now, the BJP is in focus because they are the ruling party. There are people making irresponsible statements in every political party. So this is the time for modern India. This is the time for us to move forward. We want to look up to our leaders. We want our leaders to set examples and not make irresponsible statements and ruin the whole scenario further. In fact, there should have been immediate effect.
Siddharth Singh, let me take that to you, and let me also take to you, for instance, when you say that Dadri is very much the state government's responsibility, and you're right, it is. There were the Dalit killings in Haryana. There was the trucker in Jammu and Kashmir, where your government is in power with the PDP, who was burnt alive again because of a beef-related allegations. Is that then not the BJP state government's responsibility in Haryana and J&K? My point is not about fixing blame at this point, but the need for the leadership to speak out unequivocally and say that, there is no space for this and go beyond sort of generalities. Siddharth.
And stop seeing everything as a conspiracy.
Can I answer that?
Yeah, let's
Can I answer that?
Yeah, Siddharth, go ahead.
Okay. Now, what BJP has to do, there are certain leaders who had made any irresponsible comments. The party within their own internal system has taken note, has warned them and taken not action, but yes, they have been told to be corrective, and you may have seen there were media reports which were appeared. Now, as far as Haryana is concerned, Nidhi, coming from you, I particularly thought that you would have read it. There was a huge article or a report of forensic report which had appeared after the Haryana incident, and it came out in the forensic report that the burning happened from inside and the suspect became the family member, not somebody who came from outside. The problem therefore lies with the media as well as the opposition, who jumped the gun and started accusing BJP for it, when the
Why
whole
is
reality
it the media's fault?
please hear me out. Please hear me out. Do not defend yourself all the time. Do not defend all your time. Nidhi, I am going to raise a very important question, and I will ask you, did you on your channel say sorry, or anybody said sorry to BJP when BJP was accused for a nun rape which happened in Ranaghat in West Bengal, and it turned out that the people came from across the Bangladesh as Muslims and they raped the nun, and nobody then commented on the BJP and said, we are sorry, we branded BJP as a communal party?
So you want to shoot the messenger?
Media also cannot be very selective in branding BJP.
So did we force VK Singh to speak? Did we force Sakshi Maharaj to speak? Sangeet Som, Mahesh Sharma, did we force all your legislators to speak?
We have done. But I am asking as a media, as a responsible media, what did you do after the Ranaghat incident?
I am asking you about whether all your MPs and MLAs were forced to speak to the media. We didn't ask them to make those irresponsible statements.
But you showed it. So, but after the forensic report
came
up, why are you asking me that question?
Mr. Singh, why are you attacking the media?
But why are you asking me a question on Haryana when the forensic report is already out?
Because you raised a point on Dadri and the state government, and then as it, then tell me about Jammu and Kashmir. Tell me about Udhampur and that trucker who lost his life.
I don't want to corner you. I don't want to corner you. I have other panelists to corner. You raised a question on Haryana. Therefore, I am raising
I
that
also asked you on
question
J&K,
that there is a
because
forensic.
nobody
Yes,
said a
J&K,
word
what
about the trucker
happened,
who was
we
burnt
have
alive.
taken action as a law and order. We have taken action against those people, booked them under the Criminal Act, and they are not outside on a bail, but they are behind the bar.